Hey guys, Tabby here and welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can tell from the title, this is my January 2019 wrap up. I'll be talking about all the books I read this month, including ebooks and audiobooks. So that's what we're going to be doing. If you're interested, keep watching and let's get into it. Okay, so I've been using my magical monthly reading planner from Owlcrate to keep track of the books I read this month and my thoughts of them. I actually didn't have a great month. My goal was to read 10 books. I only read 3 books and 1 ebook, and I listened to some audiobooks, but I'll get to that later. The first book I read was The Wren Hunt by Mary Watson. I actually ended up giving that 2 stars. This is my thoughts on it. Slow start, not engaging, and it was very confusing in the beginning. It was a whole different backstory, a whole different world kind of, and so they kind of just threw you in it, so it was very hard to follow. And again, it was not engaging. I kept putting it down, picking it back up, trying to make myself read it. There were a few spots in there that were actually really good, and I kind of just read through those really fast. But then again, it would get to a slow part and I would just not want to read it. I'd put it down. I did like the romance in that book, but I was totally let down by the ending. It just wasn't that great of a book in my opinion, which is really sad because I adored the cover. I mean, it's such a pretty cover, but yeah, I will probably never read that book again. And the next book I read was The Hazel Wood by Melissa Albert. I gave this book 3 stars. I really liked the magic and the fairy tale story of it. It had a great build up. The beginning of the book was so good. But I was kind of bummed out by the ending, and I kind of wonder if that was on purpose. I'm going to try to say this with no spoilers, but this book was about fairy tales, and our character was actually from a fairy tale story. And the ending of the book was like being brought back to reality, and that's kind of why I wonder if it was on purpose. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed. If it was on purpose, I totally get it because sometimes reality sucks. But again, it was such a good book in the beginning. The ending was, again, kind of a disappointment. I loved the Harry Potter references in there, though. There were actually quite a few references to the Harry Potter series, and I absolutely loved seeing that. So I really liked the writing style of this. Again, if the ending was better, I think I would have gave it a 4 stars. So yes. And the third book I read this month was The Wicked King by Holly Black. I gave this 5 stars. I read this book in a day. I could not put it down. It was so good. My thoughts were loved, exclamation point, great story, great plot, loved that we got to see the characters better and their background. So we actually got to see a little bit more background on Prince Carden, which I really liked. It kind of made me understand his character more and why he is the way he is. But you know, sometimes the second book in a series isn't always the best, but this book was so good. It kind of kept you on the edge of your seat. It was such a great book. I can see myself rereading this series several times. And next was Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. This was actually an ebook, and it was a sci-fi book. It was the one that G from Book Rose had recommended. I gave it 5 stars. My thoughts were I loved it. Such a good plot and great action. It actually had a lot of action sequences through the book, and it was so good. The characters were good. We got a little backstory, which made me fall in love with the characters even more. It had such a good ending. This was probably my favorite book that I read this month. I don't know, it's kind of a tie between this and The Wicked King, but the ending was so good. It set it up so well for the next book, which I cannot wait. It comes out this fall and it's called Starsight. I also read this book in a day because it really does. It just hooks you in the very beginning and you are so engaged with the story and the characters and the plot that you just do not want to put it down. Poor Bella, she just played in her room while I sat on my phone reading. I'm such a bad mom. But so good. This is one that I want to already reread. But yeah. This one and The Wicked King were definitely my two favorite books from this month. I did actually start another book in January, and it was Once a King by Erin Summerall. I'm only in chapter 10, and that's because I have started this book and like put it down, and I just cannot make myself read it. It's such a slow start. It's not very engaging. So like I'll read a few pages and then I'll just be like, whatever, and then I'll put it down. So yeah, it has just been so hard to read. Honestly, I don't even know if I want to finish it, which is really sad because I hate not finishing books. I feel like I owe it to the characters to at least find out what happens. I don't know, I'm weird, but yeah, I honestly don't know if I'll finish it. But yeah, I think because of this book and me trying to read it for like 2 weeks was the reason I ended up not reading as many books this month. Because I started out the month really strong. Like I read these first 4 books probably within the first week and a half of the month. And then I just have been trying to read this and I have so not been inspired. And so I actually ended up rereading the first 4 books of the Throne of Glass series. So I didn't really count those in my books read this month, just because I have already read them. But yeah, I could not make myself read it, and honestly I don't know if I even want to. So yes, that was my January 2019 wrap up. You guys will have to let me know what you think. Have you read these books? Do you agree with my opinions? And on these wrap ups, do you guys want me to go more in depth with my book reviews? I'm just trying to give my opinions on these books without spoilers. But if you guys want more in-depth reviews with a little bit of spoilers, just let me know in the comments down below. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, hey, welcome. Feel free to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see y'all next time. Bye guys. This month was The Wicked King by Holly Black. Ooh. So excited that I was able to get this. Ugh. Was such a good ending that will lead us kind of right next to blah, 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 blah. It has an audiobooks, so that's blah, 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 blah.